Good evening. This is President Ann Diener. Donald Trump is legally and lawfully deposed since August 8th of 2017, and he stole election 2016. Um, it was interesting because I've been really promoting my war crimes tribunal because I'm hoping that we get to audit the Pentagon and then I get to become gainfully employed here. I have been technically the president in the background for almost 3 years now. Well, 2.5 years. I do deserve to be paid for that. And also, the individual Gordon Duff who wrote at Veterans Today, and I'm not sure why he is above my house. I sent something over to William Strobel, who I admire as a reporter. And it was funny because when I was at Veterans Today, I tried to get mainstream media to cover VT's stories because I believed in investigative reporting. And that was the investigative reporting I was doing, and others were too. But Duff always had some sort of lie-cheaty stuff going on in the background that's not real journalism. And so a lot of people called VT a scam and a bad publication. They wouldn't put him on Facebook. They wouldn't put him on Twitter. Even if you share links now, sometimes they get edited. And so it was a very hard time to write at Veterans Today. I tried to bring up the quality of the publication, always including sourcing, like the background links to the actual stories. But unfortunately, Duff has continued to monitor my home. I did find out while I was at Veterans Today that he was connected to Les Wexner, who started Epstein. And that made me curious. And then when I provided my testimony that deposed Donald Trump, I did include him in the testimony regarding Ghislaine Maxwell and his relationships. And from my understanding, they were arrested at one time. And so I'm not sure why that individual is allowed to target me here in my house so that I don't get paid for my investigation and my depositions completed. And I'm not sure why he is allowed. From what I understand, he's been called a negative set company. There should be no reason. I suspect they're involved in counterfeiting. They've been turned into the New York Attorney General if they are involved in negative set or core values or whatever they're doing to launder drug money. But they've been outed. And so I'm prepared to serve for the War Crimes Tribunal, and I'm prepared to assist our government to really maintain American standing solidly. And we can do that. We keep our gold standard and our money back and hopefully deliver a lot more than $1,200 to the American people, backed by our solid gold in all 50 states, and hopefully get ready for the War Crimes Tribunal that can start to tabulate every dollar Cheney's made. Since at least 2013, I would have to say it would have to go back to September 11th. Because they did put nuclear components in the columns, and we did identify 128 buildings they should be made responsible for. And I'm not sure what Robert Mercer thinks. I mean, you can claim you own our planet all you want. Like, somebody could literally find out I own our planet and draft up an agreement. But if you go ahead and put nuclear components in columns in 128 buildings and start killing American people, starting on September 11th using those components, I think you need to go to trial for those components you installed. So have a wonderful evening. Please help me remove Gordon Duff from my house. And I deserve to be compensated for my work. I have spent 3 years working on this investigation, on our War Crimes Tribunal, and on all the data available at A_Diener. And I am a professional journalist. It is hard to write being targeted at my house. I have tons of pictures of the stuff you can hear it in the background. That's the chirpers. And that's the disgusting man from Veterans Today. And they did not want the mainstream media to actually pick up their stories. That shows you how valid they were. Every time I built up talking with credible people like William Strobel or the Washington Post, they didn't want to work together with mainstream media, and I was turned down every single time from Veterans Today. They said they didn't want to expand out, and we know why. And they are also a Russian front. People wonder why I'm so much after Ukraine. I cared about the people in eastern Ukraine that were being cheated by those in the west that had invaded their country. And I fought back for the guy in the laundry so that he deserves just compensation from those individuals that went into his country illegally. They couped the government illegally to profiteer on their backs starting in December of 2013, if not long before that. And that's what I'm hoping will air on the War Crimes Tribunal. So have a wonderful night. PayPal donations are acceptable on my website at AnnDiener.com, or I'm looking also for a personal injury attorney. This has been really intensive of all the people, well, Donald Trump so far has been okay. He did attempt to reoffend, but I don't think he's really into pulling September 11th. I think he'd actually like to investigate the nuclear components in the columns and get those columns removed wherever they are. And so maybe he will testify in a war crimes tribunal. Who knows? Maybe it would give him a bump up in the polls and we can finally get over September 11th for everyone. Have a good evening.